Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Anthony Joshua looks like Robert Garcia, the now former trainer of Anthony Joshua, who attempted to lead him into the fight with the sequel with Alexander Usyk and tried to lead him to a victory, but they were unsuccessful as a team. Robert Garcia has something to say, and he's continued with some suggesting he's pushing a smear campaign, but I don't think that's what he's doing. I think what we're getting is a peek behind the tent flaps of what Anthony Joshua hasn't been doing right in training camp and how Anthony Joshua responds to criticism or to recommendations or to change. And Robert Garcia has gone on record now and said Anthony Joshua needs a stricter camp if he wants to challenge the world's best again. Now, there are a lot of people who agree with Robert Garcia. If you look at Robert Garcia's track record and the amount of champions that he's been able to develop, the kind of work that he's can take credit for, all started with his dad. And you know how Robert Garcia got to the point he's in? Listening to his trainer. Becoming a world champion, listening to his trainer. Being the great coach that he is, listening to his trainer, mastering what the trainers ask him to do, going out and executing it, and when something didn't work out, come back, make refinements, then take that into the ring again to make those corrections and be better. Concluded his career, amazing record, excellent accolades, and decided to become a trainer, and has done outstanding. So when you take a trainer who's fought on the highest level, who's been a world champion, who's had a coach, father actually, talk to him, tell him things to do. You ask for clarification, but you don't tell the trainer that you're wrong. He's learned from him, he knows how to listen, and he knows when to talk. And what sounds like the pairing between him and Joshua was more of him talking and Joshua not wanting to listen. So he says in that camp, Joshua just had it easy, took it easy. Didn't want to take any advice, any recommendations, develop a horrible attitude, talk about the things Robert Garcia was asking him to do, that Anthony Joshua was saying that those things didn't seem like they made sense, that they were hard to do, hard to learn, hard for him to adapt. When you have someone here who wants to find a way to lose, make excuses, and you're the total opposite of that, and you were the total opposite of that as a fighter, and as a trainer, you're the total opposite of that. It's very hard to get that fighter to perform to their potential. And that to me would make it a waste of time. Because you even have trainers and boxing aficionados back in the UK who are saying at this point in time, Anthony Joshua blaming Robert McCracken, blaming Robert Garcia. At some point in time, you got to stop blaming the trainers. You got to look at these trainers and what they've been able to do. And in particular, they've been trumpeting Robert Garcia as being an outstanding trainer who can get the best out of fighters if they listen. So all the finger pointing right now that Anthony Joshua is doing, most boxing experts, majority of people in the boxing communities are saying he needs to take that finger, turn it around and point it at himself. Case in point, he feels that he didn't beat Usyk or that he's not able to perform to his potential or he hasn't got to win in a couple years because he doesn't have the right trainer there. Let me tell y'all something. And I think it's fair to say this. I've, not for boxing, I've tried to train people. I've tried to develop people. Doesn't matter if it's sport, if it's business, doesn't matter. If you're in a coaching capacity, you want your students to pay attention and listen. And those who pay attention, those who listen, they adhere to the instruction, they put the work in, the time to understand it, it pays dividends when it's time to perform. Whether it's on a test, whether it's on a task, or whether you're involved in sport, okay, it pays dividends. But if you have that student who asks a lot of questions, who wants clarification, can you explain more? There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Because you're going to get some students who don't have a lot of questions, they just get it. You're going to get some who have a lot of questions who want to get it, but they're not getting it, but they're curious and they want to. And that's fine, but then you have that handful. It doesn't matter how you say it, whether it's verbal, whether it's written, in a PowerPoint instruction, if you bring another team in to give the presentation, to do the training, if you bring, information systems in, it doesn't matter what you do. You do it indoors, outdoors, doesn't matter what kind of training it is, whether it's sport or anything else. Sometimes you get that one who's used to things just working out for him. And then it doesn't, and this is what happens. The finger pointing starts. So Anthony Joshua here in the States, he's supposed to return to the ring in March, after his new training team is cemented and everything, all the kinks are worked out and they're ready to go. Look, man, first week of January is almost over. Soon he'll be down to 2 months before he fights. And if he doesn't have a team together, that's his fault. And I've said in other videos, and I'm not going to go and rehash all the things I've said before for those who follow the channel. But for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Your choice. I'd appreciate it, but it's all good. Look, Anthony Joshua needs to go back to McCracken, man. Go on back to McCracken. Go back to where he started from and stay there. Coming here to the States, you got to come here and stay here in the States. If you're going to get an American trainer, you can't come and uproot somebody and take them back to the UK. You got to get out of there. Get over here, focus, do your job. But at the same time, I don't think that's necessary. I think he just needs to go on back home and hook up with the guy who made him to what he was. Okay? He already has Eddie Hearn, Fast Eddie, who can, he's a snake, but he's a good promoter, and he can make things happen for AJ. But at the same time, Eddie Hearn's about his money. So he'll throw AJ in there in a big money fight, knowing that AJ isn't 100% mentally, and it's probably a good chance of him losing. Eddie Hearn will throw his ass in there. Because if he sees big money, he's not going to pass. He didn't jump at Fury because that's a guaranteed loss. But if another opportunity comes up, I'm telling you, Eddie Hearn will throw him in there. But Anthony Joshua, at this point in time, he just got to really figure it out, man, and implementing tactics. Whether it's Robert Garcia showing you new tactics and you're having a tough time implementing them, Freddie Roach, Virgil Hunter, it ain't gonna Derek James or Malik Scott, Roy Jones Jr., whoever he selects, right? Keep hearing a lot about Roy Jones lately, but look, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to implement the tactics, and I'm telling you, what's his name, man? Eubank Jr. is very athletic, like Roy Jones. He was about his size, everything. So when Roy Jones has him out there in Pensacola with the mosquitoes and them damn roosters running around, Eubank Jr. can handle that. Big Femi, big Anthony Joshua, 260 pounds. He's not used to no damn mosquitoes, man. I understand his family from Nigeria, but he's not built for them damn mosquitoes, man. He's not built for that. I don't think he'll be happy. I lived out there in Fort Walton Beach, man, which is about, 50 minutes from Pensacola. He ain't gonna be able to handle that living, but that shit is straight country. The water out there is beautiful, don't get me wrong. The beautiful ocean, man, the Emerald Coast, but he ain't gonna be able to handle that. He ain't gonna be able to handle that down south bullshit, man. He ain't gonna be able to handle that. Now, if he was in Miami, that's perfect, but that's where he went and made the mistake, and Andy Ruiz put that heat on him. Bing, 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 bing. Fight over. So for me, when it comes to AJ, man, got to sort it out, man. Got to learn to listen. Can't keep going to all these different trainers, man, and automatically, blaming them for how you didn't perform. But we'll see. Robert Garcia, I tend to believe Robert Garcia. Got to have a stricter camp. Robert Garcia he's a disciplinarian. He's a perfectionist, and he wants to get the best out of his fighters. And you got to make yourself uncomfortable. And it sounds like he recognized that in Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua just wasn't willing to do that in training. And as a result, we saw when he got in the ring, he wasn't okay with making himself uncomfortable, especially when Usyk was touching him. He immediately went defense only. But when Anthony Joshua let his hands go, he was still half committing on the shots. He wasn't letting them go with all of his body weight behind it and totally committing. It was more throwing the shot, being ready to defend, opposed to throwing the shot, trying to get the guy out of there. And I think ultimately that's what caused him to lose, because he had opportunities. He was just afraid to commit and to become uncomfortable. And that's going to be his downfall. So can he bounce back with a new trainer? I don't think so. I think what you see with Anthony Joshua is what you saw with a guy like Adrian Broner. And I'm rooting for AB. But you see, when they get hit and they get hurt, everybody responds differently. Everybody responds differently. And that's in the back of their head. Like, I can get hurt, and they change the way they fight. They really do. But we'll see what he does. He still hasn't picked a trainer, but I keep hearing about Roy Jones. So if it's Roy Jones, I think that's a bad decision. I like Roy. Roy is probably one of the best boxers ever. If you guys haven't watched Roy Jones' first 25 fights, go watch them, okay? I'm not talking about Antonio Tarr. I'm talking about them first 25. You're going to see something beyond comprehension. But that being said, Roy Jones was a good fighter. I don't like him as a trainer. I said in other videos, I'm going to say it again. Freddie Roach, but I don't think he can handle Joshua Roach getting up there in age, has Parkinson. Derek James, but he's so busy with his fighters, he doesn't want a whole bunch of fighters. He's more about quality over quantity. And then you have Robert McCracken, which is back in the UK, which I think Anthony Joshua would be just fine. But it's ultimately up to him. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Best of luck to AJ. But I think Robert Garcia is spot on when he says he needs a stricter camp and someone who he'll listen to. And Robert Garcia just wasn't that guy. That being said, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.